Returning to the Baltimore Comedy Factory, it's the legendary George Wallace.
People can say some stupid stuff. I just get off the airplane, I'm walking to an airport, man. Hey, Mr. Wallace, you in town?
Plus, from the TV show Night Court, Marsha Warfield.
Sometimes now I have to take a nap just to get ready for bed.
And Myra J.
The house was so cold, the cat was wearing oven mitts.
5 shows at the Baltimore Comedy Factory, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, July 28th through the 30th. For tickets to go see George Wallace, go to BaltimoreComedy.com.
And that's right. George Wallace is coming. George Wallace is coming. George Wallace is coming.
All right.
Now, I feel like I'm going to get arrested after saying that.
Well, yeah, you might. So, you might.
Welcome to the first. Well, we've done many different things. This is our first official podcast, simply called the Allison Marc podcast.
I love it. Simplicity.
We're
back to the basics.
We're simple people. We're in our basement right now.
Yeah.
Allison just woke up.
Oh, that nap was so good too.
I just came back from the store. We're just regular people.
Okay.
I was going to eat dinner down here, but I guess we won't be on long. We have our first guest. This don't happen. Like, we've done this many times before, but we're on our own platform, and we have really a legend.
Absolutely.
And I mean, people always say that, but I'm serious. This brother I was just thinking about it. He's been there. He was there.
Yeah.
He actually did it, knew it, lived it, and is continuing to live it. I've learned an important lesson that I'm going to share with you. This is one of my favorite comedians. You got favorite comedians when you know your favorite jokes.
Yes. One
of my favorites. Our dog just came down here. One of the classics. George, I'm gonna mess it up, but he talks about how when dogs bark, they always have that one last bark. And they do. It's like he is so accurate.
You always say that.
No, I love this. And I love this dude. So
yes.
I was so excited because I've been talking to George because he's coming to town. We've been going back and forth. In my mind, I'm like, I am now officially a friend. This is my man, George, is going back and forth. Yeah. And so I hit him right before the show. I said, man, 6:30, are you good to go? He's like, yes. Who is this? Without any further ado,
that's all right.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Who's this? I never heard of your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, here he is, George Wallace.
Good morning.
Hey, wait a minute. Give him some.
Hello,
George. What is going on over there? Listen, I did one thing. I'm new on this telephone. I have a brand new telephone, and I'm not sure I turned off Do Not Disturb. So some white people might be calling me while we're on this broadcast.
Right. Look, if some white people call, we understand. Just take the call. It's all good.
You know who those white people are here in this area, right? That'd be Clarence Thomas and Tim Scott.
Mm.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Tim Scott. So so George, again, it's a blessing to see you. I was talking to George and I was going back and forth, and then George said, Hey, are you married to Allison?
Yeah.
I said, yes. He said, the Allison C. I said, yes, I am. And so, yes, George, here she is, the
just woke up from a nap.
Allison Seymour.
My face is trying to wake up too. The early morning person.
Hey, Allison, before you were on air, you were going all like this, and I was doing that, but I was in the back room. I was marking you. Everything you were doing.
Were you? Oh, no. You can see me.
I see you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Saying good morning. I keep saying good morning because I am also a morning person, Allison, and you're just in your head,
Yes, I understand. My day starts I'm supposed to be at work at 2:30 in the morning. That doesn't always happen like it should, but that's my end time, 2:30 in the morning. But I'm so happy to talk to you. Yes, it's ridiculous.
That's terrible.
I know. As an entertainer, that's bedtime, 2:30. I'm sure.
Exactly, 2:30, 3 o'clock, we go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see you passing, going back and forth.
I know. But I just have to ask you. You're just so iconic, but so warm. Every time I see you, it feels like you're an old friend, right? Yeah. Where does that come from? Have you just always been that kind of person? That was that just how mom and dad raised you? Where did it come from? That warmth, that making people feel at ease, even though you are such a big deal.
I think it came from my family and also my community. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, right outside of Buckhead, an area called Buckhead, the first black neighborhood in DeKalb County, and everybody knew everybody, and we just loved each other. And my job was always make people laugh, and that was just awesome for me to do that. And if you make people happy, when I see happy people, it makes me happier. So it's so easy, and just being a happy person, it's just better than being mean, you know? And I just love I just love talking and making people smile.
George, you've been a part of this thing for a long time. You've seen the changes, and we talked off air about how you just pivot. You just keep reinventing yourself. You always stay relevant. You know, the age doesn't matter. I will say this, George. I think people, when they talk about George Wallace, especially, you know, I'm a wannabe comedian, so I'm in the circles or whatever, and kind of halfway in entertainment with radio and television. But George, I think people always marvel at the fact that you and Jerry Seinfeld used to be roommates. And, you know, even watching you guys interact, it's just interesting because, again, so different. You're from the South back in the day. He's from New York. And so, but it's like you guys have this amazing friendship. You know, what's the key to it? Because I think people just, especially in a country that's so bent on race, people look at it and they be like, now, how did these two come together?
I don't know what happened. We started the same day at a club called Catch a Rising Star in New York City. And we were auditioning. He was at one end of the bar. I was at the other end of the bar. So back in the day, I was the only little black boy, and they're trying to audition and get on. And he was at the other end of the counter as a little Jewish kid, which was surrounded by Jews at the time. But his glasses were so thick. You know those glasses that people say look like Coca-Cola bottle?
Yeah.
I felt so sorry for him. I said, let me go over and say hello to this guy. And we went on. We started hanging out. Then I had a car. And Mark, you know, if you have a car in New York, you're everybody's friend. But we became friends, and then he invited me out to his home for Thanksgiving dinner. I said, ain't no way in hell I'm going to a Jewish home for Thanksgiving, because I was so ignorant. I'm thinking, I ain't eating no matzo ball. I ain't eating no filter fish. I ain't eating none of that stuff out here what the Jewish people eat, you know? And I said, I'm not going. And some friends of mine said, you got to go. That's your best friend with the guy. Go out. So I get to the home, and I'm nervous as hell. And then they said, let's go eat. And I'm going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't tell these people I don't like this, I don't like that. And if it's not good, you know. But when I walked in the dining room, guess what I saw on the table?
What's that?
I saw turkey. I saw mashed potatoes. I saw green beans. And that's, what do you call it? Sweet potato souffle. Mm-hmm. I'm just going, oh, this is the same thing we eat, you know?
Right.
But, you know, sometimes you cannot be ignorant. You have to learn as you grow. And then you have to learn to experiment with other cultures and cuisines. So, but I met the family, and we've just been friends since then. Then we became roommates for 13 years. And people don't know I'm actually the real George in the show. I'm the actual guy that was.
Is that right?
Well,
you are George Costanza?
George, there was another friend named Costanza. And so he put the names together. George is the roommate for 13 years.
Wow.
And he's still my best friend. I can't get rid of him.
it's so that story. And George, you actually are you in development of a Sanford and Son a reboot? Is that happening?
You know what? I, as a comedian, I wanted to be a comedian for 47 years. When I started out, I just wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I didn't know anything about television or movies. Never wanted it. I just wanted to be a comedian. And I said, I want to go to Las Vegas and work like all of the top comedians at the time. And so that became true. I worked my way, you know. I did the Tonight Show one night, and the next night I was in front of 17,000 people with Natalie Cole. Then I went from Natalie Cole to George Benson, from George Benson to Diana Ross, to Tom Jones for 5.5 years. So the first 20 years of my life, I was opening and learning how to be a comedian and going to Las Vegas and conquering Las Vegas. And the next thing you know, I had my own show in Las Vegas. Then I had achieved my goal. And I just go, man, what's my goal now? I came to Las Vegas, and they called me the new Mr. Vegas. I went out there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And the next thing you know, I'm there for 15 years. And I didn't just, Allison, you need to know, I didn't work for the hotels. I own my shows. I own
Come on now.
I did the directing, the marketing, the advertising. And it's just not the show. You got to do so much. But I was blessed to go there and stay for 15 years. And then the newspaper called me the new Mr. Vegas. Yeah. So what a blessing there. So I wanted to, after I achieved Las Vegas, I said, well, maybe I can go. You know what I want to hear? Did it. Because everybody loves that music, right?
Yeah.
So I went to Norman Lear. I said, let's do that. He said, no, we can't redo that, reboot that. I said, well, you're rebooting everything else. And then I went back and had an idea. A friend of mine had 2 kids, and a boy and a girl, but the boy, they were twins. The boy never identified as a boy. And I said, Dan, but whatever, you still got to love your kid no matter what. You got to love that kid. I don't care what, the title is. And so sure enough, and a light bulb went off in my head and says, what if I was an old man like Fred Sanford, had a son back in the day, and I'm an old guy from Alabama, Georgia, and the kid took off like we did at an early age, and everybody moved to New York City to be who they really wanted to be. So, and then what happened, we go to the story, 27 years later, my son knocks on the door. You have to say this right because they'll get on you with all of the new pronouns now. My son knocks on the door, and I go to the door, and it's a beautiful, beautiful lady. I said, hey, how are you? It's a bad time to come now. If you're selling Jehovah's Witness magazines, I said, Avon, this is the wrong time to come because my son is on the way, right? I said, Dad, it's me. I said, you got to go, lady. You got to go because I'm getting ready for my son. Dad, it's me. And I just kept slamming the door, closing the door, and my son has transgendered. What the? What?
Yeah.
Say what now?
Yeah.
So what has happened here? You mentioned rebooting Sanford and Son. Now we have a show called Sanford and Daughter. I took this idea to Norman Lear, and he loved it, and it's very controversial. And I said, well, who's going to play my daughter? And it turned, we got Laverne Cox.
What? Wait a minute. I hadn't heard this.
That's amazing.
Wait a minute. So when people see this show, it's going to be like, holy cow.
Yes.
And I'm an old black man. I don't get it. My job as an old man was to put food on the table. Don't understand all of this social stuff, especially today, what's going on. And so I'm going to learn and be educated. And so will America. Some things that they don't understand and I don't understand. But I do know to let people live and be who they want to be and love who they want to love. And so that's what the show is all about. Live, I call it the 4 L's. Live, love, laugh, learn, and of course with me, lie. When I do my own show. Oh, but you laugh when I say lie? I got Allison.
Yes.
I got the greatest job in the world. And I thank God every day, and I choke up because all I do is lie. I just love to lie. I just love to lie.
What you be lying about, George Wallace? Now, what you be lying about?
Okay, I'm in a hotel right now. I'm looking across the street. It says the Cheesecake Factory, okay? That ain't no factory. That's a lie. That's a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then I get in my head, I be thinking, my head gets crazy, and I'm thinking.
You be thinking?
And Mark, then I said, why do they call it cheesecake? It's not a cheesecake. I said, technically, it's a pie.
Right.
And then I said, technically, there's more sugar in it than it is cheese. So they should call it a sugar pie. So that's a lie. Do you see how everything? And then I start thinking about it. The Burlington Coat Factory. When's the last time you seen a coat in that store?
Yeah. That's my store too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's just see.
That's my store.
They took the factory off of that one. But everything in life is the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah.
Do you know somebody that knows somebody that ever won the Publishers Clearinghouse?
No, but I try every time they send the little letter. I'm trying. I want to win $5,000 a week for the rest of my life.
I'll admit it. Okay.
Okay.
I did too. I thought but you got no chance in hell of winning that thing, So everything is a lie. Every time you turn the radio on, you go to church, the preacher says, I won't be long. He's telling a lie.
Oh, yeah.
So everything you do from Santa Claus to Easter eggs, everything in your life has been a lie told to you. So I just love it. I love lying. Not even just talking about the weatherman lying every day, but I love lying. It's just good.
Let me ask you with the show, we're in this, a lot of people talk about this cancel culture and all of this. Now, is there any concern that you're so beloved, and all of that people will start to sort of conflate who you are with that character? Because I know you're saying it's going to be a teachable moment, but is there any concern? Because your longevity just speaks to the fact that, especially in these times, that you are so intentional with your comedy, with just your presentation. in these times you're quick to get canceled, but you've risen above that. So is there any concern? That's my question. And also, how do you still stay relevant and funny throughout the decades without getting canceled? Because your job is to be funny and provocative and ask these questions that we're all thinking. So what's been the secret to that longevity and your success?
Now, Mark, your wife, this is what I don't understand about journalists. They can take 5 minutes to ask you a question and 10 different questions in one question.
It was only 2. I did try to sneak a couple in there.
Hey, Allison, every time I see them at the press conference going, they ask 10 questions in one question.
Right. We don't know the time, and we're just trying to throw every question. And if we get one answer, we feel lucky that we can use as a soundbite.
So yes, there is some concern, especially for me, but I'm ready for it. I'm going to catch hell. It's very controversial, number one. Anything Norman Lear touches. Did I mention Norman Lear is my other partner, the three of us. Anything he touches is controversial. So I'm going to catch hell, especially from the black church, when you get into this transgender thing. And I'm going to say, well, hell, there's more hell been raised in the church and more wrongdoing in the church than anywhere else. Because when I grew up as a kid, if a young lady 16 years old became pregnant, they would throw her out of the church. And this is the main time that a young lady needs love.
Right, you're right.
So I'm ready for the church people, but I'm going to catch hell. And there's a lot of uneducated people that don't understand what's going on in the world. And like I said, I'm about love, living, and let live. And you know what? If it doesn't hurt me, why would it bother? If it doesn't hurt you, why would it bother you? Stay out of people's business. Let people do what they want to do. And I'm happy.
Right.
I'm not. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Just stay happy and let other people be happy. So that's what people are going to be educated and learn in that show. And it's so controversial. I think you got to watch it to not like it.
Right. But some people don't even watch it and they got something to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know what it is? It's exactly what, there'll never be a president, and there ain't going to be no black president, and it ain't going to happen. Well, we got one, and he turned out to be pretty good. And then they said, well, we'll take some more of them. Came back 2 times. So it's all about being aware and who your surroundings, and you find out. And on this show, Laverne Cox is so good. She can explain that transgender market more than anybody can. But she demanded that half the workers on the staff be transgender or that community, LBGQ, LB. Go ahead. You know how to say it, Allison. LBG. How many?
Yes, George. Be careful now. Be careful now. It's the first episode, George.
Hey, Mark. I added a W. LBGQW, whatever. W means whatever. So, but it's
all of it, an A for all of it, right?
Exactly. So she demanded that all these people be on this on the show, on the set, behind the screen. And I'm looking at people. I'm looking at men in dresses and all kind of. I can't say different. Let me just say different.
Be careful, George. Be careful now.
Yeah, they're professional and they're doing their jobs, and I'm going like, that's what it's all about.
That's what matters.
Everything's getting done, and not only doing the job, really, really good at it. You're gonna see some and the writers on the show, mostly Grammy writers, Emmy writers, and everything. It's just awesome. It's just people doing good work, and let people be who they want to be.
So George, speaking of the writers, you can most of you comedians like write your own stuff. So the writer's strike, I guess, not really messing with you guys, the comedians, that much.
Exactly, Mark. So, our job is to write, and I'm writing. What did I write this for? I'm just writing jokes all the time. Somebody said to me, to be honest. When somebody says to you, well, to be honest, you're talking to a liar. Right up front.
Yeah.
And then a lady said the other day, and I feel comfortable in my own skin. When people say things like that, I be thinking, because you don't know, you ain't never been in nobody else's skin, and I'm going to talk about that in Baltimore. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about that in Baltimore this weekend, because I feel comfortable in my own skin. I know, Mark, I feel better in Elon Musk's skin. I just know it. What's his name? Jeff Bezos. I feel good in Oprah's skin. I feel good in Al Sharpton's skin. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a little. Hey, Mark, it's gonna be a little tight, but
you're gonna have a little extra room for hair, though. You got some extra room for hair now. Quit playing.
Man, Al Sharpton has lost so much weight, but his head is bobbling.
Yes, he has lost a lot of.
George, you're not getting us kicked off the internet on the first show. So
Not
George,
all,
you're gonna be.
I'm saying what people thinking. You think I'm the only one noticing he's wearing Kurt Franklin's clothes? Al Sharpton and Kurt Franklin, they wear the same suits. You watch them.
So, George, you're gonna be in town, coming to Baltimore this upcoming Thursday?
No, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ooh, you're not gonna believe this, Mark. Marsha Warfield is back out doing comedy. You haven't seen her since Night Court.
Night Court.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's back and she's out and she's coming out with me at the Comedy Factory here in Baltimore. And Myra J. from the Tom Joyner Morning Show is also with me. And a lot of people have not been out since COVID, especially at our age, you know? Yeah. This is the time to come out and get your laughter on. Laughter is the greatest medicine in the world. And that's what I should be talking about. Come out. We've been having an early show on Sunday for the old people that can't drive at night or whatever the lie is. But
whatever the lie is. Right. Big Mama, no, she don't need to be driving.
It's too late for me to come out now, baby.
But George, look, man.
But it is really nice, and we're in Baltimore. And if you can't laugh in Baltimore, you can't laugh nowhere, my friend.
And George is going to be on the TV show on Friday morning, so make sure you watch Fox 45.
All right.
He's going to be all over the place. He's going to be on my show at 11:30, and also I think he'll be on the morning show if we can get you on there, George. So we're looking forward to seeing you, man. Maybe any last questions for George? You know, we got the legend on the line.
No, let me tell you something. Every year, my daughters and I, and they're grown now, we sit around, we watch Hubie Halloween, and we love. So there are just so many different ways that you can love up on George Wallace, right? Just period. And
that's
so
amazing. You watch
we
Hubie
love it. We think it's the funny. It is a tradition in this house. We gather around, and our favorite part is when the mayor comes on, Mr. George Wallace.
Well, thank you so much. We're also out there on Bob's Burgers. I'm on Mr. Huckins on Bob's Burgers. It's also HBO's 10-Year-Old Tom. Right. And I'm pretty busy. We just did the History of the World Part 2. I played the Governor George Wallace. I'm a black governor portraying the white governor George Wallace. And so I'm so blessed to be busy and don't even know what. Jerry Seinfeld has a new movie coming out. I forgot about that. I'm in that movie. There's so much going on. I'm so blessed that I'm just blessed. And I'm talking to you.
Yeah, and we're talking to you. And, you know, it's just, I believe that you are that prime example of a good, genuine person and how good comes to you because you put that good and that love out. So, you're an example of what we should all be doing, you know, accepting, loving, but funny and trying to make somebody else laugh. And you are so funny, George Wallace. You are so funny. Blessed.
I'm the most successful person you've ever met. It's not how much money. It's not how much money you make. It's how you enjoy your life while you're living. And I tell you what, I have enjoyed, and I teach young people in college, make sure you enjoy your life.
Come on now.
Travel around the world. As soon as you get out of college or high school, get on an airplane, go to another country, see how other people live. Charge it to your parents, but make sure you travel because life is backwards. And I tell all of the young people, don't you hear old people say, when I turn 65, I'm going to retire and travel all over the world. For what? You too damn old. You can't do nothing. So make sure you guys travel and take your holidays and vacations, okay?
That's right. That's right.
George,
and come and see George Wallace in Baltimore.
So George, thank
come
you.
to Baltimore and come to the Lake Show. That's when we get crazy, you know. The 9 o'clock show, the 10:30 show. Always come to the Lake Show. That's when it's really, really good. Unless you have to get up at 2:30. If you got to get up at 2:30, then come to the 7 o'clock show.
Okay. Thank you for that.
George, appreciate you, brother.
I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it because my love for you does not require your permission.
Come on, George Wallace.
Beautiful.
Thank you, brother. Take care now.
Bye.
The George Wallace
on
our first show, babe. Come on now.
Love it.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm still asleep.
Come on. T. Okay, babe. I know you're sleepy. I want to say hello to everybody who's watching in real time or people watching later on. But Allison, we cannot get off before we do an Ask Allison, okay?
Oh, okay.
This is an Ask Allison. For those who don't know, Ask Allison was a feature we did on our radio show years ago.
Yeah, and a feature I did on Fox 5 for years.
And Fox you did. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, it's time for Ask Allison.
Thank you for being a friend. Now it's time to ask Allison. We love her point of view. She's our girl and a confidant. Now listen, everybody.
this week, Allison? Let's see. We'll look on this. Let's see. I think it should be on the screen. Go ahead, babe.
Me? Okay, dear Ask Al, I have not seen this. I've been married for over 20 years, and I'm the same size I was on my wedding day because I work out 3 times a week, and my husband used to be built like Adonis. Now he is Fat Albert. I love him to death, but should I say something or let it go? Oh.
Well.
Boy.
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. Well, let's work out together. We should work out together. None of it works. I'm sorry. It's that weight is one of those things. Just none of it works. I want you to work out so we can be healthy and all that. I just think that, yeah.
So, baby,
if it means a lot to you, but my thing is this: why does it mean something to you? If your intentions are really pure, my girlfriend, and then, okay, then you say it from the heart. There's no easy way to say it. Nobody wants to hear it, because here's the thing. People know they've gained weight.
Amen.
I know I've gained weight. People know they have gained weight. Like,
amen now. Right?
And so it's just never going to be, it's never going to be easy. But if it means something, because we also know that, to get in shape, regardless of how your body is going to look afterwards, but you just get your cardio, your heart rate up or whatever, I think you can just say something, because if it means something to you. But if it means something because, I don't know, you're embarrassed by the way the person looks or whatever, because none of it is easy. Because if you say, I'm not attracted to you because you gain weight, that is horrible. Like, all of it is horrible. I don't know. I say just, make sure you're right. Make sure that you're right and tight and however you want to be. And then hopefully it'll just be contagious. I don't know. That's a terrible question.
This answer was interesting. I thought you were walking up a mountain, then you kind of slipped back down the mountain. So are you saying don't tell or
I'm
tell?
just saying that.
Say in love.
In real life, just, hey, maybe you've gained this amount of weight. But for what? Like, I'm not attracted to you anymore because of it, or, I'm concerned. Maybe I'm concerned for your weight gain because this, that, and the third. And I mean, that's the only thing that you can do. Because that's it. Like, it can't be, because people change. Like, people's hair gets gray, your teeth lose their luster, like you get the wrinkles, all of it. So for me, it's one of those things. But if you really say, I'm just concerned about your weight, then that's a different thing. But I don't know. You got to dig deep in what is the real issue.
Well, good luck.
I know it's not easy. It's not. And what do you say? Like, vice versa. It's really difficult.
Yeah, it is. I think, like you said, I think if you're concerned about the person's health,
right?
I think, and as you're African American in a certain age, I think you pretty much have to be. I think you can say something. I think, like you said, there's always the way.
People know.
I will say one thing about you. You never said anything that really. You're very conscious of that, as far as when you say things to me, explaining it, and I think that's huge, because I think how people say stuff is the biggest part.
Right.
Sometimes you got to say something, but it's just how you say it.
How you say it,
wow,
and investigate the reasons why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it truly is love, then.
And so
you'll make it. We'll make it. And you didn't have to bring me on this to let me know that you need me to lose some weight. That's really sad.
I did not. I'm not doing that. Shaletta, what's up? Okay, babe. Now, before we wrap things up, and we're doing pretty good, right? At 30 minutes, a strong 30 minutes. That's what we'll do. Strong 30 minutes. So you actually, what's up, Rebecca? Shaletta. Shaletta says hi, babe.
Hi, Shaletta.
And Shaletta's retired, but she kind of went back. She loves it too.
Hi, Rebecca.
So, babe. Speaking of Bootsy, I see Bootsy's on here. I told Bootsy, I expressed my concern. We do a podcast together, Bootsy, on Thursday Night Live. I see all these amazing artists and people in media, the Joe Claires of the world, my lovely wife. And I'm like, yo, I have not talked to the young students at Deanwood. And he said, well, yeah, I didn't think, I didn't think get off.
It is in the morning. He's looking out for you.
Okay, so how was it?
Oh, it's wonderful. This media program at Deanwood Community Rec Center in Northeast DC, in the Deanwood community, it is transformational. It's like you know how you just have these areas of greatness, and all the young people who come through, they're just engaged, and they make you feel really special. One young person was just like, I just want to give you your flowers right now. And he said, and my dad loves you. And it's just to still be. So after that, we went and Bootsy had me go in and talk with some of the seniors, because it's a whole community center. So to go from the young people to the seniors, and it's why I do what I do. So thank you for letting me come in and talk to your young people, Mr. Sally Williams, because you're doing it. You're changing lives. He sent so many young people to figure, blazed a trail for a clear path for not just college, but I'm talking about like scholarships. I'm talking about setting these young people up with beautiful careers.
Yes.
This is life-changing, and everybody needs to know. This is just one program in DC. And so you do your thing.
That's my man right there.
The kids are wonderful.
And don't forget me, check out me and Bootsy for Thursday Night Live, basically 6:30 on Thursday. So now you got the Allison and Marc podcast on Wednesdays at 6:30, and then you got me and Bootsy on Thursday around 6:30.
Wow, it might be Mark Clark overload.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm trying. I'm fishing. We're fishing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you're not watching in real time, you can just always catch up on the on the different channels.
Okay.
As we grow it all out.
Well, it's wonderful.
Right. Any parting shots? Any parting shots, babe? As we wrap it up for tonight?
No, I just feels good to be back. I see that that show, it used to be like Kathy Lee and Regis, and then it was Kelly and I think Regis for a while, and then it was Kelly and whoever, and then it was Kelly and Ryan C. What's his name?
Ryan Seacrest.
Mm-hmm. And now it's Kelly and her husband. And I look at them, and they are just so happy in their element. So I'm really trying to manifest a vehicle for us to really be in, because I really enjoy working with you. And so I think that and that's my
even when I big boy you.
Yeah.
And I saw you. I felt you felt I was big boy in that interview a little bit.
No.
Coming back down a little bit.
No, I did not feel that.
Feel like I be big boy you.
No, you were good. You were good. And so I'm just hoping that we're able to really, it's all serious. I'm manifesting that, because that is my happy place. Well, loved doing the radio show back in the day, and I just see us doing more of that. So thank you all for your support and for watching. And Rebecca, thank you for tuning in.
That's right. Well, and again, I'll see you tomorrow. Baby, anything tomorrow you need to tell people to watch for on the show? Your television show?
Oh no, just tune in. And then on Friday we're continuing our Giving Matters campaign with WUSA 9. So be out and about in the community. It's great.
Oh, every Friday.
Every Friday.
Well, and don't forget, on our Friday, if you're in Baltimore, George will be on our TV show, be on my show, and also the station, I think a couple times. And so
look at God.
All right. And so let's see here what else Rebecca says. Oh, wait a minute.
Yes, the AM show. That's the AM show. That was so clever. The AM show.
Okay, Rebecca. All right,
Allison
you're right.
Marc. Yeah, AM. Yeah, love it.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to steal it. Thank you.
The AM show. That's perfect.
That's a great idea.
Isn't that good?
That's good.
Yeah.
The AM show. Okay, thanks, Rebecca. Love you. All right, y'all. See you tomorrow.